Alright folks, Rick Wool came back again. And as you can see, we've got ourselves a Marvel Legends Infinite Series Spider-Girl. Skyline Sirens if you prefer. It's the Spider-Girl variant though, so yeah, it's the Spider-Man line. A little damage to the box, but nothing major, especially as we're taking out the box now. Before we do though, let's have a quick run through of what we get on the box. Window packaging showing us the figure within along with the Build-A-Figure piece. Probably the only one of these I'm actually going to get, so not such an issue having the Build-A-Figure piece in there, but you never know, that might pop up on eBay, it might pop up in a custom, you never know where that'll pop up. Get the Marvel Legends Infinite Series, Skyline Sirens, Hasbro, Marvel Spider-Man, Build-A-Figure Collection, Green Goblin. Side of the packaging, images of Spidey. Back of the packaging, the two Skyline Sirens, the Black Cat variant, the Spider-Girl variant. Black Cat, of course, was the main one. This is the second release. Other figures in the line. Got the Superior Spider-Man, Deadliest Foes, which is Boomerang and the Beetle, the Ultimate Beetle. Skyline Sirens, which is this figure. The Amazing Spider-Man from Amazing Spider-Man 2. Electro from Amazing Spider-Man 2. And the stickers covering that, so it's a symbiote something or other. And it's Carnage and it's Toxin. Then an image of the Ultimate Green Goblin Build-A-Figure. There's the stuff on the bottom of the box. Nothing particularly exciting. Spider-Man logo up there. Nothing, pretty much standard packaging. Nothing to write home about, but we're not looking at the packaging really. What we want to have a look at is the figure within. So I'm going to pop it open, have a little play around, be back in a tick. Okay, I had a brief chance to play around with it, and it's a pretty good figure. But it's not without its problems. I mean, firstly, we'll talk about the Green Goblin piece because we want to get that out of the way. This is the least interesting thing. It turns there. A pectoral cut, if you will. Hole for arms. Thing for the head. Part for the legs to plug onto. These don't seem to move. They probably should, and they're probably just a bit tight, but yeah, that's essentially all it is. If you want that, give me a message. I'm not so keen on it myself. Feels really hollow. Sounds really hollow too. Probably because it's really hollow. But we'll put that to the side and get to the thing that actually interests us about this. I've actually wanted this figure ever since I saw it. I mean, I know it's the new Spider-Girl whose real name escapes me for the minute, but she used to be Arana. And yeah, I like the character. I do like the character. I used to read Young Allies, which was a very short run comic. If you've read that, good on you. It's a much underrated comic. And she was good in that, and that's where I really know her from. But she's not my favourite Spider-Girl. She's probably my third favourite of the three we've had. With May Parker being the first, and Mattie Franklin. I thought she was a much underrated character and should have had so much more done with her. She had so much more room, but this is what we've got. Really love the design, really like the character, so I'm not going to complain about that really. Right, going to talk about the sculpting. There's not much to the sculpting. It's essentially the new teen body, which is a really good teen body. I actually very much like that. A good look for the Marvel Legends. Hopefully we'll get a good few of these. Hopefully we'll get the Power Pack figures, which I've been crossing my fingers for since 1983. Which, hey, they've never been that popular, so I'm not surprised we've never got them. But this is the perfect body for releasing some of them. Well, that's a side issue, a different rant for a different day. Talking about the sculpt, and yeah, it's a really nice sculpt. Nothing particularly much to it, but it didn't need much to it. A full 360 of it. Yeah. No distinct boots, just a boot cut. but then the character doesn't have distinct boots. There's nothing in this. There's nothing missing from this. The hair sculpt's a really good job. The ponytail's a really good ponytail. Got a bit of flexibility to the joint there, which worries me that it'll break at some point, but it helps it not actually get in the way of the articulation. Face sculpt's a really good face sculpt. Yeah, I've got nothing to complain about with the sculpting. Basic, but it's a basic character. Paint job, again, not a great deal to talk about. The face paint job is perfect. Maybe a touch of black is bleeding onto the ear there, but other than that, absolutely no problems. The hair's really good, really nice colour, really well done, no paint bleeds. The only paint bleed I've actually noticed on the figure is here on this joint. The white from or the silvery white from the spider logo sort of bled onto the joint. Doesn't get in the way of the joint, doesn't stop the joint functioning, but I find it really noticeable. So I think that's worth sharing. So aside from the paint, which again, the big problem I have with that paint job, it's a simple paint job, but it looks really good, looks like she does in the comics. The only trouble is, if you've got the articulation done, it goes out of place. Now that's nothing new, that's been the case with a lot of figures over the years, so there's nothing really you can do about that. But it is irritating when trying to pose on the shelf. Speaking of trying to pose on the shelf, articulation. And this is where I've got a couple of major issues. Right, firstly, let's talk about the ankle joint. Works nicely. Both of them. That one works a bit more than this one, but it does go eventually. Double jointed knees, boot cut, thigh cut, forwards. Not really any backwards movement there, but plenty of forwards movement. Out to the side. Joint mid-chest. The arms open. Elbows single jointed. Wrist articulation on a hinge and a twist. Head looks down plenty and up plenty. As I say, the hair can be pushed back so it doesn't affect it. So yeah, plenty of articulation, except this arm. Pretty much frozen, and if you force it, it will go. But it really takes so much force, and then it goes too far and you've got to force it back, and it's really not comfortable. Some of the other joints are a bit stiff like that as well. Hopefully they'll loosen up over time. But that's a major problem with the figure. It's pretty much the only major problem with the figure, but it is a major one. As I say, a couple of other minor little paint bleeds, but nothing that's unforgivable. That is pretty bad. Yeah. Now on to accessories. Oh wait, she doesn't have any accessories. Now, I don't like that. Give her a couple of interchangeable hands to give her, a thwacking pose, the firing off webbing, or actually give her some webbing to attach to her hand so that she can look like she's swinging. Just something, a little extra other than just the basic figure. Great basic figure, but it does just need a little extra for me. No figure stand, which, again, it would have been nice to have a figure stand. I like the characters to have figure stands. Not that big a deal for me, not a deal breaker, but it's a shame. Yeah, overall, really good figure, but it lacks any extras. It's not spectacular. Very good. If you can get it cheap, well worth getting. If you're a fan of the character, you have to have this. So, but yeah, it's a customiser's dream as well because it's such a basic figure. But other than that, it's only okay. Not spectacular. Good, very good, but not spectacular. That's what I'm taking away from this. Hope that's what you're taking away too. So until next time, see you.